shall be your confusion.
That's right.
That's right.
You heard that, brother?
My God.
Nah, you good. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 3. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt shall be your confusion.
Wow. That's right.
Go ahead. You want to explain it?
Nah, you good.
Well, because the scripture's also going to say, he that trusteth in Pharaoh is like him that leaneth upon a spear.
I gotta read it out.
Go read that, read that.
Guys,
And we give you the sense and make it plain. Go ahead.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 36, and verse 6.
Read.
And it reads, Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it.
So it's basically like you trusting in something that's about to hurt you. So imagine leaning on the spear. You want to lean on something for support, but you chose to lean on the spear. What's going to happen? It's going to cut right through your hand, right? So that's a metaphor, that's a euphemism. The Bible trying to tell you it's not a good idea to trust in Egypt.
Right.
Because they're going to be destroyed anyway.
Right.
As a matter of fact, trusting in them is going to hurt you. That's what the Bible is trying to say. Read it.
So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him.
It literally says that. Go ahead, Al.
All right, so you know about Geb and Osiris now?
Yeah, most people.
Yeah.
All right, watch this, watch this.
Bring it out.
This spells 700, right? It says Geb here is understood to take the place of Osiris in fathering Horus, for which she finds support in the remark that CT spells 700, Geb's phallus, what's your phallus?
Yeah?
Geb's phallus is between the buttocks of his son and heir.
Oh, wow.
That's what spells 700.
Hey, that's off.
That's crazy, bro.
Yo, give me Galatians
That's crazy.
4:16.
That's crazy. That spells 700.
All right, give me Amos 5 and 10.
Say CT, that means coffee check.
That's the coffee take. That's CT. That's a coffee
Alright, we're
take.
positive stuff. Y'all like telling me the negative
But you
stuff.
gotta accept all of it.
It's not our job to romanticize Egypt. That's not our job. You said tell you the good. The good is the Most High destroyed them.
Bring it out. Give me that. They say give it to me smooth.
Isaiah 30 and 10, right?
But Isaiah chapter 30 verse 10,
Brother, keep going.
it says, which say to the seers,
Because this is what you just said. Go ahead.
which say to the
Hey, go mom. Come here. Let me talk to you. Read this.
which say to the seers, see not,
Say what?
see not,
Go ahead.
and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us the right things,
But
speak unto us the smooth things.
now what you ask me, you want to hear something sweet. We don't have that. We just got the unadulterated truth. That's right. And what happens is people don't like that. Right. Go ahead.
Nah.
All right, okay, listen.
I like I, right? Say y'all, right? If I judge all y'all off y'all past, I probably can't respect the man y'all become.
Yes, you could. You would say, damn, you was that type of dude.
Alright,
There's
so
no way
same thing
you
with
would be standing here
Egypt. It's
teaching
the
the
same
Bible.
thing with Egypt.
Egypt is not a person, God.
Hey, the past of Egypt is not a past that they used to do. That's a practice.
Right.
So that's a culture. It's within their culture to lay with alligators and commit bestiality to worship their god of the Nile River.
Hey, at one
That's what
point,
they was doing.
Egypt was having a famine, and the priests were feeding choice cuts of meat to baby alligators that they pulled out of the Nile to appease the god of the Nile, hoping to bring a better harvest. So they let people starve so they could feed animals because they was idolatrous and thought that was actually going to bring them a blessing. That's stupid.
When you're speaking of the family in Egypt, we're talking about Joseph too, right? Watch this. Psalms chapter 105, starting at verse 17. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters, he was laid in iron. Until the time that his word came, the word of the Lord tried him. The king sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people. Talking about the ruler of Egypt, right? Sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go free. He made him lord of his house.
Talking about Joseph.
And ruler of all his substance.
That's an Israelite.
To bind his princes at his pleasure and teach his senators wisdom.
So Egypt actually had to come to the Israelites with wisdom. That's right. Because all wisdom originates with the Most High God. Bring it out. Who is our God. So we have the wisdom. The other nations are going to say, you know, what a great, wise, and understanding people you are, according to prophecy. But that's only when we start falling back into our culture, which is why we come outside to pull y'all out of this wicked, modern Egyptian culture that y'all in. I'll get at you in a minute, guys.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 15.
Bring it out.
It says, drink waters out of your own cistern. It says drink waters out of your own cistern.
That means be with your own people.
And running waters out of your own well.
That's what that means. That's be with your own people. Go ahead, Evan.
This is Egyptomania, because this is all this is, Egyptomania. Egyptomania refers to the fascination with the revival of ancient Egyptian culture, art, and history, particularly in non-Egyptian societies. This phenomenon has manifested throughout history, especially in periods when Egyptian artifacts, motifs, and mythology captured the imagination of the world. That's all that's happened. Imagination has been captured and people become fascinated with Egypt. That's all. It's just a fascination.
Right.
It's not actually.
So I don't think there's no truth behind it.
What do you mean no truth? What is that? What do you mean by that?
Like, when it was talking about raising your frequencies and vibrations and your energy.
Where is that at in Egypt?
Yeah, where'd you read
Egypt.
that?
I want you to show me one
They
place.
said they learned that through like meditation
No.
practices.
Show me. The ancient Egyptians didn't meditate.
Right.
I want you to understand. It's like real quick. I want you to understand something, right? This is the pseudo-conscious information that came in the conscious community that took Hinduism and merged it with ancient Egypt and tried to make Hinduism African. It's not.
Right.
So you can't show me any reference to ancient Egypt to meditation, to raising the frequencies. They didn't even talk like that. Yeah, so
Where that came from?
It came from New Ageism. You know what New Ageism is? It's a movement of white people that go and appropriate the culture of ancient people and try to say that you can use it to find a utopian society in modern time. So you got black people in the black conscious community that came and painted that movement black and took a little bit of Hinduism, a little bit of ancient Egypt, mixed it all together and tried to tell us that this is the way of our ancestors without a single shred of empirical data to substantiate it.
Exactly.
You cannot find me evidence that ancient Egyptians meditated. I've never seen it. That come from Hinduism. And then even meditating, like the Bible tell you about meditating. But meditating in scripture just means to be in deep thought. It doesn't mean to be sitting crisscross applesauce going RNGQ or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But that come from the Hindu. That's the ancient Indians culture. That's the people that own 7-Eleven culture. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
This is Psalms chapter 1, verse 2.
Bring it out.
His delight is in the law of the Lord.
Right.
And in his law doth he meditate day and night.
Meaning we thinking about the law. So what does that mean? We're thinking about God's commandments and we're using that to guide our lives. Right. That's why we wear the fringes and the seats on our clothes to keep us in remembrance of those things. So we're constantly thinking about it. So when temptation presents itself, we fight temptation. Because we're thinking of, as soon as an opportunity presents itself to sin, that law is already in your mind. Right. Another man's woman is trying to get with you. The law is in your mind. Wait, I can't get that. Thou shalt not commit adultery with your neighbor's wife or a man's wife. Right. Making it very clear, this goes for all people. You can't have sex with nobody's wife. Right. So that's the whole purpose of that. So we constantly thinking about these laws, and they're literally guiding. Give me the law as a lamp. Proverbs. Right.
This book of Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light.
It's the light that we're walking through. Like essentially, we're in a place. Give me Job 10 and 22. We're in a dark place spiritually, ideologically. We're in darkness right now. Right now, how do we guide ourselves through the darkness? It's very simple. Go ahead.
This is Job chapter 10, verse 22.
Bring it out.
It reads thus and so. Excuse me. I'll take this again. It reads, in the land of darkness, as darkness itself.
In the land of darkness, as darkness itself, read.
And of the shadow of death.
That's all it is. Darkness and death. Go ahead.
Without any order.
Without any order. Because their whole saying is what? Order out of chaos. That's their motto. That's where they get their order out of causing chaos, right? Go ahead.
And where the light is as darkness.
Where what's good is looked at as bad. The light is as darkness. You see what I'm saying? So how we guide ourselves through this darkness is with the light that comes from the laws of God. Because that's the practicality of all of it. Outside of meditation, raising all of various things, what is the practical application that we can use in our day-to-day life to be better, to be in the will and alignment with the Most High God? Very simple commandments on how to treat the Most High, how to treat our fellow brother. Exactly. You see, that's what's most important, because the number one thing causing the deterioration of our people is the lack of love that we have for each other.
Right.
But that starts, of course, with ourselves, because the first thing, we don't love our damn self. Right. So if I don't love my damn self, then when I go outside, I see you just a nigga like me. Well, I'm not going to love you neither. You see what I'm saying? Right. So that's where it comes from. So that's what the laws of God give us. They really show us and put in perspective our value, what we bring to the earth, and how much favor and election that we have for the Most High. We just all had a civil war on social media over an election over two people that evidently have never cared about us, right? Meanwhile, whole time God elected all of us.
Right.
Collective. You see what I'm saying? And here we are. You got people that's not friends no more because of Trump and Kamala Harris.
Right.
They don't want to even be friends and family with each other no more over Trump and Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, we are God's elect the whole time. He said, out of everybody on this whole earth, I want to pick y'all, right? And you got to understand something. When did he make this decision according to the Bible? It's before we even went into Egypt. Right. We was just a family of people, just living, just a man and his kids and his grandkids. And God said, yeah, y'all ain't shit really, man. I'm about to make y'all the great. I'm gonna show everybody, because at that time Egypt was great. Right. The Cushion, you had all these great Assyria, you had great empire. God said, I'm gonna take the people who haven't done anything yet, and I'm gonna make them into the greatest people in the world. To show my power. Because if we take a look at ancient Egypt, let's take a look at the ancient Egyptians. They just started getting good at basketball. Right. You seen the Olympics? South Sudan, they was doing their thing. Right. They just started getting good at basketball.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? What I mean by that is, we don't need anything. You can take away all our history, you can erase it, and wherever you put us, right, the cream is going to rise to the top.
That's right.
Creme de la creme. Every time. Exactly. You can take us, kidnap us from the empires we built in West Africa.
Separate ourselves from them? Why they not like one of us?
Here's why you gotta understand that. Because Africa never looked at itself collectively.
Right.
That's a European ideology. That's a European ideology to classify Africa collectively.
Right.
The people never, for example, all we gotta do is take a look at the people who's come from the continent now.
Africa.
What do you mean?
Like, they never looked at us collectively, so that we separate?
No. They are the ones that looked at us as a blanket.
Right.
We never classified ourselves as one people.
Right.
That just never happened, right? To prove
Never? We was never one?
Never one.
Never one.
When can you show me one?
I just feel like we were. I'm not saying we were. I just feel like it. Like
never one.
It never
good,
won.
bro.
We're never one. But you have to understand something. The concept of race. They invented that. Yep. Race is, when you look up the etymology of the term race, it means people that share collective ancestry. Have nothing to do with the way people look. Right. So they classify people by the way they look, and that confused everybody
by
right
color.
there.
Right.
Because now you think that somebody look like you, but an East Indian could be blacker than you, but he's not black then. But then you look at him like, well, wait a minute, I'm confused. That's why when people say, oh, it's about skin color. Well, wait a minute. The black Arab, the dark-skinned East Indian, he's not getting profiled like a dark-skinned Negro or Latino. But then you can be a light-skinned Negro or Latino and still get profiled. So it never was about skin color in the first place. This is the game that they playing with us.
Right.
It's a game for us to be confused. Right, go ahead.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 11, verse 7.
Yeah.
But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that you may know how that the Lord does put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Now look, there was a difference. Now Moses grew up with the Egyptians. He was indistinguishable physically from the Egyptians, but there was still a difference between the Egyptians and the Israelites. So he appeared similar to them, right? He had the Ethiopian wife too.
Yeah.
So his kids, they appeared like how the people in Egypt and in Cush looked.
Right.
But there was still a distinction between them, and that's what's important. Even his wife, Jethro's daughter, which is Zipporah. Yeah. Zipporah was a Canaanite.
They're still Egyptian. He chose an Egyptian wife, you saying?
No, he had a Canaanite wife and a Cushite
why didn't he just
wife.
get an Israelite wife?
Because he wasn't living with the Israelites.
Right.
He had his wives before he even came to the Israelites.
Right.
So why didn't he abandon her for Israelites?
That's his
Well, hold on. Why abandon your wife? Who said why would you abandon your wife? We don't teach anybody to abandon their women.
If I grab my wife from here, why would I defame this place if my wife came from here?
Because you grabbed the wife, not the place.
But the wife came from the place. It gotta have some positive influence.
Why could it be? First off, if I got my wife, I got the positive influence over her.
Right.
I'm not getting positive influence from her.
Right. With her.
I'm supposed to be the one, the predominant influence, right? But mind you, his wives weren't Egyptian, so he got his wife from Ethiopia when he was appointed as the viceroy of Cush. This is in Egyptian history. He was appointed over Ethiopia when the Egyptians subjugated Ethiopia. Then he got his wife from Ethiopia there, right? He already had her. Then after he killed it, because you got to remember, Moses grew up knowing he was an Israelite, but he grew up with the Egyptians. Right. So we like to liken that unto Colin Kaepernick. Right. He grew up with them white people, but deep down in his heart, he's knowing he's a brother and he wants to get with his people. So so when Moses came to get with his people and he saw the oppression, when you see the Egyptian overseer beating on the 2 Israelite slaves, what did he do? He killed it. He put him down, buried him in the sand. Right. Then when he came to his people like, what you gonna do us like you did him? Oh, that's how you know who the people are, right? That's how we know we are the people that it's writing about, right? So what did he do? I gotta flee. Now I'm wanted on a body. I gotta flee. So when he fled to Jethro's house, then he got another wife. But they were Canaanites, which is still Hamites, still what you consider black people or African people still, right? So he got that wife. So when he came back to Egypt, he get with his wife. That's when later on in the Exodus, Miriam got a problem with the Ethiopian wife.
People spoke against them for having
2 wives?
Yeah, 2 wives, They
both was Egyptian?
No, they was both Hamitic though. They was both what you would call African. But neither one of them was Egyptian though.
But he never had a wife that was born outside of Africa.
No.
But born outside
That's
of
where
Africa.
he's from.
Hold on. But he's from Africa. We're not,
But still, you don't get that. Like,
hold on, we're not
you
speaking
saying
against.
the chosen people is from here, but I want my people. Like it's like a contradiction.
What's the contradiction?
Israel, right? The chosen people from Israel, right? What do you want an Israelite wife?
Yes.
So why didn't he take that?
He was never around the Israelites to have one.
Clicking.
He was never around.
Think about what you're saying. Think about what you're saying. There's 12 tribes, right?
Yeah.
From the 12 tribes are all the different branches of Israelite.
And he's a part of that, right?
Yes, Moses is from Levi, right? Priest is from Levi, right? That's one of the tribes.
Yeah.
Who did those men have to marry to have children? There were no Israelite women in existence for them to marry.
They had to make the women.
They had to create them. So it's not about who your wife is. Matter of fact, the heritage comes from the father anyway. Right. Because he carried a seed. He carried a lineage, right? That's in the Bible.
That's why they wanted to kill all the males in Egypt.
That's why Pharaoh did that. He keep the Israelite women, that's for me.
And that's
but you men, I'm gonna put y'all to death, right? Herod did the same thing. But we could go into that, but you got good questions.
Yeah, because think about it. Right now there's a movement on social media. I guess it exists in real life to some degree, but it's mostly on social media, of black women who are divesting, right? So what they're saying is they're leaving black culture entirely to go and assimilate into white culture, right? So because the men don't divest, right? You get with a white girl, you got them babies, them is still little niggas. The whole world is gonna look at them.
Children are me
anyway. You see what I'm saying?
No matter who the woman.
But that black woman, if she want to just go be with white people, man, she can go. A woman has that.
She making white babies.
Exactly.
Even though they brown skin.
Yeah. And a lot of them, and they get more excited because I'm seeing a lot of them have their babies.
What happened, sis? We'll talk to you. What's up?
A lot of them is having babies, and the babies is coming out just white as hell.
And the Lord made it manifest.
Yeah, white as hell.
See, but you can't stop that. That's just the state and condition. Yeah, that's the state and condition of our people, man. We trying to find a way to get our honor back. Right. That's not an honorable history, being children of slaves. Knowing that the white man was so brutal and oppressive and can even make jokes about it now and trivialize what we went through. There's no honor in that. So we constantly trying to find a way to get our honor back. But we don't have to fight for that. The honor is already yours if you accept the heritage. And your heritage is being God's chosen people. See, when you wanted to be an Egyptian, there was nobody to shout you down. Yeah, be an Egyptian. When you wanted to be Muslim, there was nobody to shout you down. Once black men started saying we the Israelites, all these Christian apologetics showed up. And even people on CNN, people on MSNBC began to speak against that idea. Because how dare you think that of yourself, right? Because that's the first step to getting your honor back, right? When you got honor and respect for yourself, I can't control you, and I can't hit you with propaganda. Propaganda control a lot of people, right? Black propaganda is Kamala Harris putting Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B up there, thinking, well, if I bring these people in, y'all gonna vote that way because these people inspire and move you. So what do Megan Thee Stallion represent?
Turkey.
What do Cardi B represent? A former stripper got rich, and I'm a hoe, but I got kids, right? So what are your women gonna aspire to?
Now, mind you though, Salakia, and then that's the coldest part about it when, you know, Megan Thee Stallion has got a degree.
She didn't get up there and talk about a degree. She only got up there and shook her behind. That's all they had her go up and do. But it's showing you that there's nothing honorable about us.
Right.
Give me that. What's that scripture? What's that scripture? The honor, seeing, like recently, dishonor of the people. Yeah, can't find it. Go ahead.
And then think about what Trump did. He went the other way. His propaganda was, I'm a war hero. I'm gonna have somebody shoot me from over there across the street, but I'm gonna survive. That's the way that they hold on to their honor, right? So for the black people, we was given strippers, but the white man was given a war hero.
Now,
you understand?
But also
things you have to be aware of and understand.
And then he still brought rappers out.
Yeah.
But he still didn't highlight the most negative aspects of what they represent still. You see what I'm saying? He the one that came and gave rappers part. Who did Joe Biden party?
He bring the rappers out just for get money niggas.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, get money niggas.
Because he's letting you know it's entrepreneurial.
Right.
Listen, if you trying to get money, I'm your trust president. Me, I'm the guy. Kamala's not gonna help you get no money.
So that leads me to the current question: who's the leader of your nation right now?
Who's your civil rights leader?
Who Matt? Give me a civil rights leader right now.
We don't have none.
How? When your civil rights is still not on par.
Right.
Who's fighting for that? Are we going to turn to the white man and ask him, out of the sympathy of your heart and the time of your day, can you make it a priority to make black people's lives better? Are we going to ask him to do it? Isn't that something that you have to do for yourself? Right? That's what we're out here for. Right. We represent leadership. Right? And with leadership, we got to say some things that you might not like. Right. Matter of fact, people hate when you try to be a leader, especially in our community, because now they got to change. Right.
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
We got comfortable, man. We got comfortable being at the bottom because there's no expectations. You can hear me? You know what I'm saying? I wanted to hear all that breathing.
I got the preacher. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go to Proverbs chapter 14, verse 34. In the AMP, or the Amplified Bible, it says righteousness, moral and spiritual integrity.
Righteousness, moral and spiritual integrity, read.
And virtuous character exalts a nation.
That's what gets people exalted.
Right.
Righteousness, moral and virtuous integrity and character. That's what would exalt us. Instead, what do they have up there? They had Megan twerking, Glow twerking. They had
Kelly
Rowland.
She want to have 4 niggas.
Yeah, they got Kelly Rowland dressed as a man. But you gotta think about even
as a girl.
you gotta even think about how crazy that was with Kelly Rowland dressed as a boy and Beyonce dressed as a girl. This goes more into confusion.
That androgyny.
The androgyny. And of course, why the dark skin one the one they gotta put as more masculine? This is they pushing all of that at that same time, right? Go ahead.
It says righteousness, moral and spiritual integrity, and virtuous character
Read on.
exalts a nation. But sin is a disgrace to any people.
And what do they want us to exalt? Sin. That's why the main talking point for this in our community was abortion.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Which is murder. Which is a sin. It really literally speaks about if me and this man was fighting and one of our wives was pregnant and we hit her
and the child died,
somebody's going to get charged as a murderer.
That's right.
Somebody killed somebody if that baby died.
They actually played on our women's emotions, but think about the demographic you aiming for. If the abortion is the issue, because I'm gonna hit you with a fact, it's no state in the United States
you can't get an abortion.
That's gonna block you from doing it. There's nobody that's gonna be denied health care if they're at an at-risk pregnancy. That don't exist, right? But when I start talking like that, people say, oh, well, are you a Trump fan? No, I'm a Truth fan.
That's right.
I don't give a damn about Trump. I care about my people. That's right. He's rich in his castle. I want my people to have something.
That's right.
So don't play on my people's heartstrings by saying, well, they're gonna hurt women's bodies, right? That's not true. And number 2, what do you mean? Why are you fighting for abortion? Why don't you fight for marriage? Why don't you fight for the proper nuclear family that we've been denied as black people? Right? And pushing for that, there's some things you're gonna say that people not gonna like. We in Atlanta, bro. I gotta come out here and tell these people these homosexual relationships is off.
Man, that's right.
Our young girls, 15, 16, is seeing that as a lifestyle choice and an option for themselves. I got to come out and tell them the bad news that the Most High God is not dealing with that.
That's right.
and give them hope at the same time.
Right.
But I become the bad guy. Give me Amos 5 and 10. When I start talking like that, or when brothers start speaking how the elder is speaking, we become the enemy.
Bring it out.
Yo, we become, they preaching hate now. But it's really just the truth. Sometimes y'all gotta understand that the truth might sound like hate because it's against what you're comfortable with. Right? Don't be so comfortable with wickedness that you can't recognize the truth, or you actually become an enemy to the truth. Read that, man. Amos 5 and 10.
Book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 10.
Look at this.
They hate him that rebuketh in the gate.
They start to hate people that tell the truth outside, man. And we come to tell the truth outside. I want black people to understand that you're not fighting for social acceptance. What makes you think that social acceptance is a win? Right. So because I can eat at the same restaurant with you, and because I can see you as my buddy and we can walk shoulder to shoulder and go to Starbucks together, is that some type of win?
Yeah, and think about this. Why would we give a damn about social acceptance anyway when we're so influential on social world and social life that everything we want to be normal becomes normal anyway?
Right.
So why do I want some of these acceptance when y'all are gonna just? I remember I went to
Why y'all style?
I went to a white. We will come right to you. I went to a white private school in 5th grade.
From what state?
I'm from Washington State, Washington, California, where I grew up. Niggas in my hood used to do a thing where we used to chew on straws, right? I went to this white school and put a straw in my mouth and chewed on it at lunch.
And what
Do you know half that goddamn school was chewing on the straw within 20 minutes?
Because we make the way.
We just, whatever we do, that's just what it is. Right.
And we've forgotten that because we become so socially conditioned to be comfortable with other people, curating our culture for us.
Right. That's what's going on right now.
And that's what's happening.
They figured it out, so we're just gonna sit up here and curate it.
We're gonna curate.
We're gonna style you. We're gonna playlist the music.
We're gonna tell you who's hot. We're gonna tell you who to follow from your community. When we supposed to make these choices, bro. That, we don't even make the right choice with our money. Our dollar don't even circulate. Right? So we gotta come and teach this. That's not a part of your curriculum and culture as black people, how to circulate your dollar. Because we're not taught to be business owners, we taught to be what? Consumers.
Because your celebrities is your what? Politicians.
Right.
That's your
That's the leaders.
That's your leaders.
Let's read. We're gonna read this, and we're gonna come right to you. Go ahead.
This is the book of the prophet Hosea, chapter 9, verse 7. It said, the days of visitation are come. The days of recompense are come.
Read on.
Israel shall know it. The prophet is a fool.
Say what?
The prophet is a fool.
Read on.
The spiritual man is mad.
That's what they say. The prophet, the one who's coming to give you the truth, they look at us like we stupid and crazy.
Man.
We're telling the truth.
That's right.
You know, but go ahead, what you had, King?
Galatians 4:16.
Alright, so how did the prophets view marriage?
How did the prophets view marriage?
Yeah, like should that's the Bible, right? So a man believes in the Bible get married in this day and age.
You married. You a virgin? And you married.
So all y'all gonna marry a woman?
We got wives. Damn, all of us up here got wives.
I got more than one wife.
I got 2 wives.
The act of having sex
Why y'all don't got
is
one wife?
consummating a marriage.
So why y'all don't got
So
one
one
wife?
thing at a time. One thing at a time.
Some people do. Some brothers do have one wife.
This is something our community don't know. The act of having sex consummates marriage.
That's right.
Why is it you don't believe it?
Now, that's how you got hoes.
Right.
Because they don't believe the act of sex is the marriage.
Right.
You understand? So we try to pull our people out of fornication too, all types of wickedness and sin. But we also got to teach them the rules and regulations.
Right.
Right?
Read that.
Because this brother could be recovered right here. Right?
The book of the prophet Jeremiah. The book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, starting at verse 4.
Read on.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel,
Read on.
unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon.
Well, those of us in captivity, which we are, right? Go ahead.
Build you houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens
Read on.
and eat the fruit of them.
Read on.
Take ye wives
Take wives. Go ahead.
and beget sons and daughters.
And have kids. Scripture say.
Do that.
Right, that's what we're supposed to do in captivity.
You
right?
do
Or else
1 Corinthians
will be
6:16.
diminished. Right. Go ahead.
It says, take ye wives and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons and daughters. And take wives for your sons and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that you may be increased there and not diminished.
Hey, read what you want.
God's book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 16.
Check this out, brother.
What?
To go with that.
Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body?
So when we out here freaking off, you actually marry.
Right.
Because Because to become one body or one flesh is to be joined together.
Yeah.
So Paul was teaching the Corinthians like, yo, y'all dealing with this ritual prostitution. Do you not know a man that lay with a harlot? Y'all are one flesh. Right. So we got to teach our people that. Our people don't know that, man.
We gotta. I said this on a podcast we did the other day. We gotta make sex sacred again.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got a question.
Go ahead,
So y'all basically saying nobody getting no ring.
we don't believe in ring. That's a Roman.
Okay, no, I agree with that. No.
And let me ask you
I
something.
agree with it though.
In today's society, right? You understand today's society.
Wait, why they can't get a ring though?
We didn't say you can't, but what we're saying is we don't follow the cultures of other people. Because in today's society, the custom is get a ring, right?
Exactly.
Does it stop adultery?
Nope.
So what is the point of getting a ring?
No, I agree. It's pointless.
And what did Sexy Red just say? She got that song, "Babe, I Love You, You My Everything." She said, "F a wedding ring."
Yeah.
So a woman with sense understands that ring does not indicate commitment.
Right. Exactly.
The actions indicate the commitment.
Right. You know what you did when you got the ring?
Jigga said, wedding bands don't make it rosy.
Right. What you do?
Thank you for watching. If you would like to support the body, you can donate via Cashapp, PayPal, or Zelle. We are the Sons of Thunder. It's our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that they might be saved.